The drama surrounding this moment didn't begin with a press release or a graphic flashing across social media. It began with raw emotion, the kind that can't be rehearsed or manufactured. A father overwhelmed, a son returning to center stage, and a journey that suddenly felt heavier than football. When Deion Sanders reacted to Shedeur Sanders being named a Pro Bowl replacement, the reaction itself became the headline. Not because of outrage or celebration, but because of what it represented. Relief, pride, gratitude, and the deep understanding of how hard this road has been. In that instant, it wasn't Coach Prime, the Hall of Famer or cultural icon. It was just a father watching his son take another step forward in a league that does not forgive, forget, or slow down for anyone. Shedeur Sanders securing a spot in the 2026 NFL Pro Bowl as a replacement selection instantly ignited debate across the football world. For some, it felt premature. For others, it felt inevitable. Either way, it forced the conversation back onto a rookie quarterback whose name alone guarantees scrutiny. This wasn't just another roster update buried in the news cycle. It was a symbolic moment, one that captured how quickly Shedeur's career has accelerated and how closely every decision, stat line, and snap is being evaluated. Social media reacted within seconds, critics and supporters clashing in familiar fashion, but the Sanders family response stood apart. It wasn't loud, it wasn't defensive, it was grounded, reflective, and deeply intentional. Deion's response didn't directly spell out the achievement, yet the message landed with unmistakable clarity. Gratitude, faith, and patience defined the tone. Those themes have followed Shedeur from the moment he stepped into the national spotlight, and they resurfaced here with purpose. By tagging family members and keeping the focus inward, Deion made it clear this moment extended far beyond a single honor. It was about the process, the belief system, and the long view. Football was the stage, but family was the foundation. That distinction matters, especially when the noise gets loud. Shedeur echoed that same mindset with a simple message that spoke volumes. The idea that what's meant for you will find you isn't something you post when things are easy. It's something you believe when the criticism outweighs the praise. That belief was forged long before the NFL. At Colorado, Shedeur delivered one of the most productive quarterback runs in program history. Over 2 seasons, he piled up over 7,000 passing yards and 64 touchdowns, numbers that rewrote expectations and redefined what leadership looked like in Boulder. In 2024, he captured Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year and helped flip the Buffaloes from a 1-win team into a 9-win program. That turnaround wasn't flashy luck, it was consistency, preparation, and a refusal to fold under pressure. When the Cleveland Browns selected Shedeur in the 5th round of the 2025 NFL Draft, the reactions were split. Some saw upside and opportunity. Others saw a late-round flyer wrapped in a famous last name. Expectations were uneven from the start, and his rookie season reflected the growing pains that often accompany young quarterbacks. Across 8 appearances, Shedeur threw for roughly 1,400 yards with 7 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. His completion percentage hovered in the mid-50s, and advanced metrics painted an unforgiving picture. Critics seized on those numbers, pointing to his low QBR and efficiency ratings as proof that he wasn't ready for this level. The Pro Bowl selection, even as a replacement, poured fuel on that fire. But numbers rarely tell the full story, especially for rookies navigating unstable offensive systems, inconsistent protection, and the mental weight of constant evaluation. Shedeur remained composed throughout it all. He took accountability, absorbed pressure, and kept competing. Those traits don't always appear in box scores, but they matter deeply in locker rooms and meeting rooms. The Pro Bowl nod reflected more than raw production. It reflected visibility, leadership, and the league's evolving criteria for recognition. The modern Pro Bowl itself sits at the center of this controversy. Once a full-contact showcase of elite talent, It is transformed into a safer, entertainment-driven event filled with skill challenges and flag football. Players preparing for the Super Bowl opt out. Others decline due to injuries or off-season priorities. Replacement selections have become common, and with that shift, the prestige has blurred. Former players have been vocal about the change, noting how the honor once carried undeniable weight. Now, popularity, availability, and timing play a larger role than ever. That reality framed the reaction to Shedeur's selection and explains why it sparked such intense discussion. Critics were quick to argue that his rookie numbers didn't align with traditional Pro Bowl standards. They questioned how a quarterback with limited wins and struggling efficiency could be placed among the league's recognized names. Supporters countered that the Pro Bowl no longer functions as a pure merit badge and that opportunity matters, especially for young players finding their footing. The truth sits somewhere in between. The Pro Bowl has changed, and so has the league's relationship with it. Through all of this, Deion Sanders remained measured. He didn't flood timelines with celebration or respond to every critique. Instead, he emphasized separation. His career is his own. His son's journey belongs solely to Shedeur. That distinction is critical because it confronts the narrative that has followed Shedeur at every level. The idea that his success is borrowed rather than earned. The reality is harsher. That last name raised expectations, amplified criticism, and eliminated grace. Every mistake was magnified, every success questioned. There was no safety net attached to legacy, only pressure. Behind closed doors, before headlines and commentary, there was a private moment between father and son. No cameras, no spectacle, just perspective. A reminder that commitment to the craft eventually reveals itself. Shedeur's rookie season was never supposed to be smooth. It was always going to be uneven, filled with lessons disguised as setbacks. What separated him wasn't perfection, it was composure, calm when chaos tried to take over. That steadiness was built long before Sundays, shaped by accountability and responsibility rather than privilege. When Deion acknowledged that this moment wasn't the destination, the message was clear. Recognition raises expectations. Once your name is on the list, the league adjusts. Defenses study harder. Patience disappears. This Pro Bowl nod didn't crown Shedeur, it challenged him. It signaled that the spotlight is brighter now and the margin for error thinner. That's why this moment matters beyond the surface. It wasn't a reward for dominance, it was recognition of trajectory, resilience, and the willingness to stand tall when comfort isn't guaranteed. This wasn't just an honor, it was a turning point. Now the question shifts from whether Shedeur belongs in the conversation to what he does next with the opportunity. Does this moment become a footnote or a foundation? Does the criticism sharpen him or slow him down? That's where the story gets interesting, and that's where the next chapter begins. If you followed this journey from the beginning, drop your thoughts below. Do you see this Pro Bowl selection as validation, controversy, or motivation? Has the Pro Bowl itself lost its meaning, or does it still matter in today's NFL? Let us know what you think. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like, subscribe, and stay locked in for the next chapter of this story.